All right. Hello, Shots Fired viewers. Good morning, sunshines. My screen name is Covert Muffin, and I'm going to be showcasing off Dark Forces, which is, in all honesty, part of probably my favorite anthology of like video games outside of maybe some other types. But if you've seen me speedrun before, maybe it was because I've been running Jedi Knight Academy or Jedi Knight 2 Outcast. Well, this game is actually the first game within that anthology itself, and it gets typecast as like sort of a Doom first-person shooter game, but really they actually made their own engine back in 1995 just for this game itself, and it's going to showcase off a lot of different things than what you would be able to do in like an old Doom game. But that being said, I'm also running actually on a modern day engine. I'm running on the Force engine, which was a community developed labor of love for this game. Which allows me to actually play the game on a modern computer without the requirement of emulation through DOSBox, which is like amazing. And then not only that, it's going to have like a million accessibility and approachability features. So major shoutouts to Lucius DXL, the lead developer for the Force engine, and everybody else who has worked on it. And that being said, if you actually just own Dark Forces, you can download the Force engine for free and try it out. Some key differences between this and sort of the emulated DOS version of the game is that I'm going to be able to look up and down with a mouse, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but in this game, there's a lot of really precise setups that are going to be very nice to be able to just set them up by looking up and down with my mouse. One really important thing that I need to do before I start speedrunning this is that I need to warn you folks out there at home that major photosensitivity warning for this run. There's going to be a lot of really bright flashes, specifically with like red and green when I take damage. So if you're very photosensitive, I suggest maybe just taking a short break, get something to eat, take a nice relaxing break from Shots Fired, and then come back to the marathon. But that being said, I'm good to go. We're just going to go ahead and get started. This is a very fast-paced run, and so I will do my best to explain everything that's going on, but there's very little downtime. But that being said, I am going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so right out of the gate, we are going to be playing as Kyle Katarn, who is just sort of the protagonist of this entire series. And basically, if you've seen the movie Rogue One and like how incredibly difficult it was in order to get the Death Star plans, well, in this very first mission that takes less than a minute to do, we're going to go ahead and get the Death Star plans. But they're just, in true nature of Star Wars game, button presses are impossible. So here's a butt punch, nailed it. And then we're going to fire some shots because this is, after all, Shots Fired. So there, instead of having to go through the entire multi-hour plot point of Rogue One, boom, we just ended up picking up the Death Star plans, and now we just have to go up and meet our waifu, Jan Ors, who ends up flying our ship. But here we just picked up the E11 blaster rifle. It's probably going to be the weapon that we use the most as we get started with the second mission immediately, where it's going to be able to spend 2 pistol ammo as I do a quick little jump that saves a couple seconds, and it's going to be able to fire out a fast. Let me know. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're just having a little bit of technical difficulties. Look, nothing has ever gone wrong in an online marathon, ever. But so, that being said, what I was just explaining, as you can resume the timer whenever you are ready, is that some of the difficulty with the movement is like twofold in this game. The first one is that I'm wearing cloth clothing, and Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. That's the other thing. Okay, so we're wearing cloth clothing, and like all the walls and like corners and doorways and stuff are made out of Velcro, actually. It doesn't look like it, but it's all Velcro. I don't know why the Imperials decided to do this to their walls, but they did. So it's very easy to get like stuck on corners and stuff like that, and so I have to like adjust on the fly as I'm going around. And of course, like when you're considering routing in a speedrun like this, right, the shortest distance you have to walk means the sooner that you can get from point A to point B as we come through and go to the end of the level. The second difficult thing in this game is that if you are somebody who loves ice physics in video games, woo, this game was made for you, because pretty much you have constant ice physics going on as you're moving around. So it's very difficult to actually just stop instantaneously with Kyle. You'll see me like slow down right there and walk as I got a really nice cycle skip there. But here is going to be the first of many massive tricks. So up there is where I need to go. So what I'm going to do is set up a very specific visual cue, just like that. Very nice. And then throw an explosive underneath my feet as I jump up. And that's going to allow me to build some additional height. And so these TD boosts, or thermal detonator boosts, you're going to see me do a lot during the run. They're kind of the flashiest trick of the entire run. Cool. But that was really good. That was very fast. Getting that first try is very, very difficult. So I feel really good about that. But here, as we're coming on to Research Facility, this is going to have two of the more difficult TD jumps. Maybe just one of them. The first one really isn't too bad. But there I ended up killing that secret drone. That is incredibly important, because as the way that we're coming into this area is going to be the same way that we end up exiting. Which you're not supposed to do normally, but Kyle is a good speedy boy. There, I'm going to fire some shots, because it's shots fired. I didn't need to fire shots there. It's shots fired, right? So you have to fire some shots. That one is useful because we are going to be backtracking through there. So killing these guys as I do switch puzzle. I messed up the switch puzzle. Okay, there we go. So there, this is just something that happens in the base game too, is that it actually ended up doubling my input for a switch press. But there is going to be the end objective, and normally I would have to like snake around through this entire level. Whoops! But instead, I can actually just do a very tight thermal detonator jump just like that, and be able to go up there and get the end mission objective. Then, as I mentioned, we are just going to be backtracking back to this starting area. I might actually grab some safety health here, just for a little bit of marathon safety. Yeah, because we still have two more thermal detonator jumps that I need to do. Okay, so here's another one. This one's going to be really quick. Still blink. Oops. Okay, maybe do blink. Okay, there we go. And then this is the really difficult one. Hold on. There we go. Very nicely done. That one is very, very tight. Like, in all honesty, when I started learning this speedrun, that thermal detonator jump was the one that gave me the most trouble. But that was pretty good for a research facility. So here in this level, this is going to introduce something known as a global cycle, as I just go and restart that mission because I spent too many thermal detonators. And so basically, as I start this mission, oh boy. Okay, there we go. There is going to be a series of like raising and lowering things that are just start moving the moment I start the level. And so because I'm going to be going for a little bit of an easier cycle, which actually does save a little bit of time for the run overall, it's going to allow me to do things like come into the secret area and like grab all of these pickups. And so previously, way back when, it used to be faster to not do that secret area. But I think it was Brindar who ended up labbing it out, who's an amazing speedrunner. Shout out to you, Brindar. And found out that like picking that up makes some future sections a lot easier, but also it makes them a little bit quicker as well. But here's probably the hardest part of this mission is like lining this up. Yeah, okay, I got a little trolled there, so I almost took a death, but I was able to get through. So falling down there once again because we're wearing ice slippers or ice shoes. I don't know, maybe Kyle is the type of person that just wears slippers everywhere. Hey, I don't judge. We are now going to be coming up here, which is going to be a cool boss fight. So here, activating this is going to spawn the boss. But here what I'm doing is actually clipping thermal detonators with the alternate fire through the wall. And so I threw exactly 9 there. You only need about 7 in order to kill the boss, but we just do an extra 2 for a little bit of safety because it doesn't lose us anytime. Then there, wow, awesome. I got that very fast. So that is probably one of the bigger sequence breaks for the mission itself. Normally, you're supposed to stand there and hold down the switch, but if I press it while I'm just barely outside of the trigger zone for that switch, I'm able to cause all the doors to just constantly be opening. So that was very good. Getting that quickly is definitely not an easy thing to do. But here's the last thermal detonator jump for the level. Nicely done. I'm gonna grab some extra TDs because I actually ended up, yeah, expending some. I realized that my count was a little bit off. So in this level, this is gonna be another one that's going to feature another global cycle. So really all I need to do is just make sure that I don't like take a death or have to restart the level or anything. But basically, as I'm going through, we can sort of explain some other fundamental gameplay elements in this game. So in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll notice that I have both a green and a red number. That is my armor is the green, and then red is going to be the health. And so whenever I am at 50 or above armor, all the damage I take just gets detracted from the armor itself. But if I'm at below 50 armor, then all damage will also deal to my health as well. But here's a really big thermal detonator jump. Skips a good bit of the level. Nice, 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 nice. And then we're actually going to activate the elevator, because here is actually a dev-intended sequence break that was programmed in by the original developers of this game, which is awesome. It's going to allow me to basically go through the sewer area and skip, like, everything in the mission. So I find that just very cool that the developers ended up just, like, programming that into the game. You don't really see that a lot in modern-day video games. But basically, why I'm here is that we are going to be liberating a prisoner for some info. And so we have to do another switch puzzle. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Nice. And the code is just the same. I just memorized the exact number of key presses that I have to do in order to get through. But on this mission, we are going to be progressing through. It's going to have a pretty tricky thermal detonator jump. It's like one of the lower ones, so it's like I have to get less height off the thermal detonator, but getting into that little notch is not easy, because the moment I enter the air, I lose all control of Kyle. There we go, second try, very nice. But here, each of these enemies ends up dropping 5 thermal detonators. So I'm actually going to go up to 15 is good, but just having a little bit more than 15 makes this level extra safe. A nice TD jump there. Yeah, because my health is really high right now. So the way this game works is that it saves the game using a set of checkpoint features. And so basically, after I cross a certain checkpoint, it will allow me to basically backtrack through that. So you'll notice in the bottom left next to my health is that number 3. So on every single level, you actually have 3 lives. So you can die a total of 4 times before you fail the level and have to restart the entire level. So here, just bringing my health down, and then taking the intentional death is going to allow me to not have to backtrack. Because in this game, probably the biggest source of RNG are going to be the enemies that are sort of just patrolling around. So we've been getting really lucky so far in this run. Yeah, that guy was not in the center. None of them were standing in the doorways, etc., etc. But here, just drawing very specific lines. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, button presses in this game, like to open doors and stuff, are incredibly, incredibly difficult, which is kind of a common theme in Star Wars games. And there we go, nicely done. Oh boy, okay. So if you are a fan of ice physics, this level in particular, yeah, it has like ice physics up the wazoo. So whenever you're on ice, we have like super ice physics going on. So in the DOS version of this game, actually, the ice was a major, major problem for us runners, because you end up going back down to 0 speed. The game made it impossible to build any speed unless you get knocked back by something. Whoops. The goof there. There we go, there we go. However, in the Force engine, that actually ended up getting patched. So it's no longer a problem if you're running on the Force engine. But if you're emulating through DOSBox, it still is a problem. So here's honestly one of the scariest jumps in the run. Okay, I got through. It seemed very silly, but that one, like getting into that hole, is really quite particular. But there is a gas mask, so I am no longer going to take damage. And here, if I don't have the gas mask on, I actually end up taking damage because I'm breathing in the tapioca pudding fumes that come off from this area. But here, just trying to draw really tight lines. And we are going to be planting those 3 charges because we're going to blow up this place, which is where they are conducting research and like building dark troopers and stuff. So here's the first dark trooper that we're going to have to face. And so they're just backing off after getting that weapon supercharged to increase my damage. It's going to allow me to be at the door that opens up. But here's a really tricky jump. Let's see if I get it. No, not quite, not quite. That's okay, that's okay. All right, that's okay, cool. But there, I just ended up picking up the ice cleats, which is an item that is unique to this level. With this item, it completely negates ice physics, but we don't get it at the beginning because then we would have to like go out of our way, and that would lose us a precious 2 seconds. Cool. That was good. It's a pretty good level. Oh boy. Okay, so this is going to be Narshada, which is, I want to say, one of the longer levels for me when I played the game casually. But here it's honestly going to be the shortest level in the entire speedrun. So coming over here, we are going to land on that tiny thin little catwalk over there. Nice, first try, let's go. And it's actually very easy to end up just like overshooting that. And it's like, honestly, one of the costliest falls in the game, thermal detonator jumps in the game to miss. Here's a dragon. We have all of our weapons and stuff confiscated by Jabba and his goons. So I'm just going to literally punch a dragon to death. Man, I wish I was as badass as Kyle Katarn. So we do another really tight thermal detonator jump to grab that blue key to continue with the mission. Here's a tight jump. Nice, got it. Oh, yeah, yep. Okay, so these Gromorians are like the scariest enemy in the entire game as I get my equipment back. Okay, all right, they're being rude. Hang on. Okay, all right, we got... It may seem like I'm overreacting there, but they deal 20 health damage every single time they hit you. And they can attack very fast. But here's going to be a really cool trick where I'm going to lay 2 mines, hit it with thermal detonators so they explode at the same time, and then boost myself up all the way up there, sequence breaking a good amount of the level. Then I'm actually going to kill this Gromorian because we are going to be backtracking through this area. Oh, that was almost good RNG. Yeah, he's trolling me. There we go. Oh, boy. And then there I'm going to be blowing up those mines, and I missed blowing up the mines. That's fine. But if you remember me talking about that checkpoint system, we are going to actually take an intentional death after we rescue Jan, but crouching through here allows me to go through the Gromorian's legs.
Let's get out of here.
And then taking an intentional death saves me a bit of time for backtracking. But here, just for a little safety, I'm going to grab that armor there. Okay. Oh, it's so terrifying. Yeah, so like enemies are just like constantly moving around during this level. So I just like I have no idea where they're going to be, and the Gromorians in particular are just absolutely massive. Oh yeah, okay. So here's I actually bamboozled myself, so I'm actually just gonna restart the mission. So here, this is another mission where we're just going to go to the end. So on the other side of this wall here, normally this wall like opens up and you have this epic fight with Boba Fett. But what we can do is just lay down some mines. I'm gonna listen. So listen for the... Uh-oh. Boba, please. Yeah, there it is. So there... Jeez. So Boba Fett is like the biggest source of RNG in this run. I cannot tell you how many personal bests I've lost. But here, this is one of the few dialogue skips in the run itself. I'm just going to press the use function in order to be able to skip that dialogue. And then we can go through our menuing in order to go to the next level. But here is going to be Fuel Station, which is going to be one of the longer levels backtrack-wise. We're going to have to be running through these hallways and stuff. I want to make sure that my health is really high here, so I'm going to just explode these barrels for a little bit of safety. I'm going to kill that Imperial dude because he can be a pain. And then explode those, pick up some safety thermal detonators, and progress through. So I could do a series of thermal detonator jumps there in order to get across. And that's what like World Record route does. But here, just for a little bit of time loss, I can just end up planting a mine down and then jumping up with the mine in order to build that. But here's a bird dinosaur. Yeah, nice. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, so I have to wait for the elevator now. So this is the weight of shame. I accidentally pressed the elevator switch instead of the opening the door with the use function because of Ice Kyle. But here's going to be another really cool mine jump. It's just going to save me from having to wait on that elevator. And you'll notice I'm at 10 health. So here I'm going to enter this door and then explode it immediately. And that's going to bring me to that panel there, which is required for finishing the mission. And then that just saves me like literally a couple of seconds of walking. Something else to mention is that whenever I take a death, it fully refills me to 100 armor and 100 health. So this is another way that we can actually build safety. We might have to do that on the last 2 levels as the Grimoire is being a troll. Okay, you let me through. Oh, jeez. Man, the Grimoires have been really stressing me out today. Good. So as we're coming through to the end of Fuel Station, we only actually have 2 more levels before the run is going to be over. The last level in particular is definitely the most difficult and the longest level of the run. So even though we only have 2 levels left, there still is a lot of action. But here, 2 doors, so I'm just going to open them while crouching, allowing me to get through, and then a little bit of a weave. Oh, I have 13 health. I'm just gonna save. Yeah, so besides the checkpoint system in this game, one of the cool things that the Force Engine actually ended up adding in was a quick save and quick load system, which is really, really cool, as well as like save states, which you can do for either safety saves or you can do for like setting up practice saves and stuff. And that is like incredibly, incredibly nice and convenient for approachability, especially when people are just learning the speed game initially. Here I'm just going to sort of weave in order to make sure I don't die, and then refilling my health there because there's a checkpoint. Oh, that was really close. Oh, man. Okay, this is the one that actually saves time. There we go. There we go. That is one of the ones where you have to, like, build a lot of height in order to be able to make it. But getting it that fast was still nice. Cool, cool. But yeah, there's, like, so many amazing things in the Force Engine. Like, if you have nostalgia from playing this game in 1995 and want, like, a really modernized sort of platform with, like, the amazing rebind system as well as the approachability and accessibility options that the Force Engine has, like, I cannot suggest enough. Like, get this game on like Steam or wherever you wish, and then just like download the Force Engine for free. Cool. Okay, I got that first try. That was cool. But here is like a secret area, which is going to be nice because it's going to get me this plasma can as well as a bunch of additional ammo and like resources. And then we picked up a weapon supercharge, which increases the rate that we're able to actually deal damage. And I'm going to make sure to get the plasma ammo that is dropped by these Dark Troopers, because in the final mission itself, the final boss fight, it definitely is a million times easier. There's some more shots that I'm firing, and some more as well. Shots fired. Love this marathon. Awesome. So there's some more shots. I don't actually need to kill these enemies, but we have to like wait for the switch sort of thing as we're sort of bringing around this freighter. So may as well fire some shots to get into the spirit of things. Okay, here's the droid. Yep, shots fired. Okay, so we are now going to come to the end of this mission, and that is going to bring us into the final mission of the run itself. So there's going to be a million things going on. Starting with this big jump here, nicely done first try. And so here's going to be Dark Trooper Form 1, which is going to be a samurai, which, similar to Grimoires, also deals damage, bypassing armor and stuff. Then here's a Dark Trooper that I need to kill. That was great. He fell down immediately, and so hopefully he just doesn't start flying around. He doesn't? Great. And then jumping back over. Nice. Okay, so here we have a shield overcharge, so we can't actually take damage to our armor. So there, I just fired a rocket underneath my feet into an explosive canister, and that allowed me to get up there without taking damage. And then here's another mine jump to skip having to wait on that elevator to go up. Very nicely done. Cool. Then upcoming here is going to be a really tricky thermal detonator jump. There's going to be a mouse droid on the floor that can just completely box me out, and it's like one of the meanest enemies in the game. So there's the mouse droid. Oh, he was very nice. That was great. That was very nice of that droid. And man, I'm making so many of these thermal detonator jumps look really easy, but I cannot express how much I've just like struggled with these after honestly like picking the game back up again as well. Oh, cool. So what I actually just ended up doing there is I didn't walk up to the switch and press it. for the elevator to go down. Instead, I just started activating the use key in order to be able to just start the elevator going even before I actually ended up entering it. And then here's just going to be another mine jump. You can do that with a thermal detonator, but it is just incredibly precise. Cool. All right. Oh, we got boxed out by a mouse droid. I should have just fired some more shots so that didn't happen. Oh well. But here is going to be another sort of like puzzle section. There we go, nice. And we are going to be coming up to a switch puzzle, which is the same actually every single time. So here's going to be a sequences of like puzzles, and you need to like connect the lines, right? And so in order to do this, I just have a very particular way of doing this that I came up with myself. So we go first, last, and then draw a direct line, and then final three, middle, first, end. And voila, we have connected all the pathways. Hell yeah. Here I'm actually going to take an intentional death because just my health is really low. So just doing that for a little bit of safety, and then I bamboozle myself. Oops, there we go. I forgot which way the elevator was. Okay, but there is one of the samurai dudes. Oh, yeah, he's hitting us. Okay, that's fine. So we'll just go ahead and take another intentional death here. All right, so we are quickly coming to the very end of the run here. So all that's left is I'm going to be taking down 2 Dark Troopers and then the final boss itself. And so we are going to do this in a very creative way. So first, I'm going to fire a Stuker shot. Hopefully that guy falls down immediately. He did. Excellent. Then I'm going to fire 2 more Stuker shots to take those folks down. And then we're going to pull out the plasma cannon and start dealing damage to these folks. So in this game, it's actually, I mean, these fights in particular. Ooh, good RNG. It's very easy to take deaths here. And I really want to make sure that my health is as high as possible, because this final boss can be very mean. So here, shoutouts to Maxim. I think I saw Maxim do this. 3, 4, 5 first. And so just laying down those mines. It might have been Circles or Rindar as well who came up with this. And then I'm going to... Oh, darn. I do want to show this off if I can. Just bad setup. Oh, come on, Kyle. You can do this. Nope. Okay. No! Okay, so I set those trip mines to be in proximity mode. There we go. Which hopefully the boss is just gonna... Oh, yeah, good RNG. So the boss just fell down and moved forward. Oh, okay, yeah, that was really bad RNG. Okay, that's fine. That explosive attack the boss did is very, very spooky. But get ready on time. Time's gonna be coming up after I kill this boss and then finish the mission. I just have to be careful of those explosives. Okay, get ready on time. And... time. GG. Yeah, so the bosses there especially can be absolutely terrifying, and they just absolutely just obliterate you. And if you run out of lives, then you have to restart the entire mission from the start. Cool, good stuff. But yeah, that being said, some community shoutouts. Once again, major shoutouts to Lucius DXL and the entire Force Engine team. Absolutely love this mod, and they are still actively developing even more features for this. So if you want to see some really cool stuff, definitely Google the Force Engine and download it for free. You do require to own the original Forces, which you can get through Steam or GOG, in order to use the Force Engine. But besides that, major shouts to the speedrunning community, Vrindar and Ripchip especially, who are 2 speed friends of mine and helped me get into the run of this game. Shouts to like Maxim and Circles for being absolute pillars and amazing speedrunners. And yeah, if you're interested in trying out this game yourself, go to speedrun.com/darkforces, all in lowercase. But yeah, Matt, thank you so much for having me on the marathon, and good luck with the rest of the marathon.